Hey up, my ducks, it's Simon here. Sorry, I was really engrossed in the chat then. I was just reading about decoupaging a pair of shoes with tarot print. I was like, decoupaging a pair of shoes. And then I looked, I thought, oh yeah, the music stopped. Uh, so many people here already, which has been lovely to watch you all chat. I just sat down with my cuppa and it was like 2 minutes to go and I saw all the comments, but I still want to do my usual hello, even though there's a lot of people in. It's always nice to try and give a welcome. So Ange was the first one in from sunny Cheshire. It is sunny. I've had to pull the blinds so that there wasn't a glare. But yeah, it's a lovely sunny evening and we're in for a heat wave in the UK. We haven't had a summer. Well, first week in August, first week in September, we're going to get up to nearly 80 degrees. And then Ramon, hello Ramon, how are you? Inked Witchy Girl, nice to see you. And we've got Celia, hello Celia, lovely to see you. And Patrice, hi Patrice, love you too. Holly and Sandra, hello Sandra, nice to see you. We've got Cheryl from Oneness Emporium. Can you believe it's a week already, Cheryl, since we sat here and did this? I don't know where the last week's gone. It has flown by. It's been training week for me. So I've been delivering training. I've delivered 3 different training sessions, but I've also been in some training as well. So all back to normal next week. All back to normal in terms of school holidays finishing and all that. And we've got Magus. Bless you, my wonderful. Bless you too, Magus. Lovely to see you here. Butterfly Moore. We've got Elspeth. We've got B. Hi, B. Kim. Hello, Kim. Lovely to see you. Robin. We've got Robin here. MA. First time in a while. Lovely to see you too. Victoria. D. Mahoret. And Beth. Hello, all. And we've got Jamie. Hello, Jamie. Nice to see you. Patsy. Lovely Patsy's here. And Sarah. Redwing. Crystal Rose. Saskia. We have, who else? Brian from Gunkle. Bella. Bella's the one that's making the decoupage shoes of tarot print. Giselle, hello, lovely. How are you doing? And let's see, I'm not missing anybody out. Lily Rose, I think I said you, but if I didn't. And just what Simon's Tarot Tubers at home. What a lovely setup. Thank you. Really enjoyed doing it. And I really enjoyed watching Cheyenne's. And they're one of my favorite videos to watch is seeing, because I am nosy. I am. I'm not going to pretend that I'm not. But I do love to see sacred spaces, desks, rooms when people say this is my tarot room, or I just love it. I really love it. And I get so many ideas from it. And there's been so many comments today, people saying, oh, you've given me some ideas for things. And I love that. Yeah. Jade, Jane T, Bookish, nice to see you. Bookish and Witchy, I like that name. Kate, Golden, 1789. Anne, hello, Anne, lovely to see you. I mentioned your little Chester today on my video. Still got him, still on my desk right next to me. Isn't he just the cutest? With his little threadbare fur. Love Chester. Such a prized possession. Fans out. Yeah. Have I Charlie? Hello, Charlie. And I think I've caught up. I think that's everybody. It's fun to peek into people's homes. It is, especially where they read tarot. Yeah. I mean, like I said in my video today, there's no point showing you my kitchen or my bathroom or the spare room, the junk, also called the junk room. So, but, you know, in terms of my spaces where kind of I practice and I dwell, and it's nice to show it off. And I know people have seen it before, but I do change things around, particularly in the last couple of months. I've changed quite a few things around. Chester is so gorgeous. Chester has more personality than some people I've met. Chester has been a constant little buddy of mine for a while now. Robin said, my space is so cluttered, it's more of a sacred space than a sacred one. A scared place than a sacred one. Yeah, but you did it once, Robin. I think I remember you showing kind of like where you read cards and things. I remember seeing it. And to say you live in such a compact apartment, because New York, right? And it's all like that. Unless you're mega wealthy. You've got a lot of stuff in there, and it's things that are important to you. So show it off. Hi, Jennifer, Rebecca. Nice to see you. I want an altar cloth now. Check out Giselle's. Well, she does spread cloths, but doing custom orders, she'd probably do you an altar cloth. But isn't the junk room where all the non-tarot decks live? Well, no, there's about 250 tarot decks in there as well. If you look at my very early videos, so like 2017, 2018, I had a different shelving unit. It wasn't enclosed into cubicles. It was kind of like shelves with sections coming down, but ends stuck out. That unit is in there. And the top 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves, and they're long, is full of tarot decks, and the bottom shelf is my oracle decks, and they're creeping up in number. And I got rid of over 80 oracle decks at one time, but they're creeping up. But I'm more mindful now about oracle decks and oracle decks that I bring in. So I like the bunny that's in your bathroom. I like the bunny that's in your bathroom. Oh, the stuffed toy bunny. It sits on the radiator. It's wondering I got damp. Yeah, that was a gift. That was a gift. Nice shirt, Simon. How was the show? Did you enjoy it? Oh, you recognise it, Maharet? It was fantastic. It was the 50-year anniversary. I just put the programme away today because I bought a programme, I bought a water bottle, I bought a mug. And it was fab. So this is the, let me just tuck that underneath so you can see it. So it's from the film. You have to say that 3 times. Janet, Dr. Scott, Janet, Brad, Rocky. Repeated, and it's from a bit in the film. They do it 3 times in the film, but on the stage play, they do it quite a lot because obviously this is audience participation. There's something you shout for each of them. So when they're doing that backwards and forwards, the audience is shouting in between to try and keep up. But yeah, but it was a fantastic show. It was one of the best I've seen, and I've seen it so many times I don't even know the number. Yeah, and because I played Frank for 2 years. Did I ever show you the photograph of me playing Frank? Can't remember if I have or not. Oh, I missed the tag. Need to watch and snoop everyone's spaces. It's only just started. I think if I'm looking at the tag, I think I'm the first to respond anyway. But it was Cheyenne Shining, and she did a VR to tarot shelf that I started a few years ago, but added into it tarot tubers at home. So it got both tags in there. So of course I watched it because A, it's my tag, and B, I watched Cheyenne. I love her channel. And she showed kind of her space, and she's converted a loft. I mean, it's called a loft, but not like a loft would be over here, like an attic. It's kind of like a converted loft space. It got a beautiful, huge, long sofa and everything in it, but it was lovely. I was just fascinated because all of her books don't have covers, they're just plain white. And I was like, and there's hundreds. I'm like, how do you know what book's what? But she's got an indexing system. It's very organized. I remember from your tarot collection overhaul vid. Oh, was that when I had to, reorganizing What Reorganizing 700 Tarot Decks Looks Like, I think it was called. Oh, that day was so stressful. So stressful. But, and it's getting that way again now. Things aren't as neat. I'm kind of like finding gaps and putting decks in when they come in. But it is what it is. Hey, Cheyenne, just talking about you. Nice to see you. Did you bring rice and toilet paper to the show? No, over here, they don't encourage the throw-in of items onto the stage. So that hasn't happened since probably the 80s. But there was so much, you know, like bounties when somebody mentioned the words paradise. If you don't know what bounty is, it's a confectionery chocolate bar over here. That's a coconut centre. And the slogan on TV used to be the taste of paradise. So when he says paradise is to be mine, people used to throw bounties, rice for the wedding scene, all sorts of stuff. But no, they don't encourage it now because of health and safety. I love both Cheyenne's space and yours, Simon. Oh, thank you, Pixie Girl, and hello and welcome. Nice to see you. Hello, Maruta. Sorry, Marita. I keep slipping back into the old pronunciation. Hello, Protect My Energy. Nice to see you. Oh, I want a bounty now. Do you know, I love the red bounties, the dark chocolate. The combination of the dark chocolate and the coconut together is divine. But every time you go into shops, it's always the blue bounties, the milk chocolate bounties. It's very rare you find red ones. If I do see them, I tend to stockpile a bit and keep them in, which is always dangerous because I can't have things like that normally in the house. I'm dying to get a proper tarot sacred space. At the moment, both my adult daughters live at home and hubby works from home, so we're a little cramped. Yeah, it will happen. It'll all come together. Bounty bars are Kate's favourite. Oh, the dark chocolate bounties are the best. They really are, especially if you've had them in the fridge for a couple of hours. Oh, beautiful. Can you remember, if you're in the UK, we used to have a bar over here, disappeared in the 90s, but it was called Cabana, a Cabana bar. And instead of, because bounties are in two halves, it was a long bar, again, coconut wrapped in chocolate, but there was a cherry in the middle. And when you got to that cherry in the middle, oh, it was amazing. And everybody loved them. And I don't understand why it got discontinued. You can't get them. I think there should be a campaign to bring back Cabana bars. Bounty over here is a paper towel brand. Yeah, we've got that as well. We have got the Bounty kitchen rolls. I'm with you, Simon. Red bounties. Yes. Yeah. You have to go to the show in underwear. Bring a water pistol. Yeah, you probably do over there. The people dress up over here. I used to, but those days are over. Anyway, do you want to see a picture of when I was in the Rocky Horror? Thank you, Simon, for your support. I appreciate you so much. And thank you to everyone that's been so kind and welcoming. It's an honor to know you. Well, you're so lovely, Cheyenne. Your nature really comes across in your videos. Very sweet and just nice to watch. You know, you just, when I see that you've popped a video out, I kind of make a cup and sit down and think, this is going to be a really nice, pleasant watch. And it always is. Do they call you out, Simon? My snacks call me. Yes. And if I've got like, say there's something where I've had half and I think, no, I can't have it all. So I'll put it in the fridge or I'll put it in the cupboard and I'll have it another day. I sit there and I'll be watching TV or my iPad, YouTube or something. I sit there having a sip. And then it starts to creep in. That other half's in there. Oh, may as well just finish it off. Terrible. This is why I need Slimming World. I agree, Ramon. Cheyenne's channel is awesome. Yes, I remember it, Simon. Not quite sure. Yeah, show the pic, Simon. Yes, we want to see the photo. Well, firstly, I'll show you the one that I've got hanging on the wall. I can still talk to you because I've got my earpods in. So this was an official one taken. We had a professional photographer kept coming during the second year of the show. Gosh, I had cheekbones. That was in the dressing room, taken through a mirror. So you can see here is the finger with the brush. So it's just taken through a mirror. I was sweet 16. No, I wasn't. That's when I started. I was 17 there. That was year 2. That is delightful. That is delightful. That's so polite. That's delightful. But I'm still a little bit bunged up, so forgive me. Where are we? Right, photos. Right at the beginning, I'll make sure it's not too bright so you can see it. So that was the floor show. Where that's the finale of the floor show. That's dress rehearsal, that is. That's why there's people kind of like stood behind the bar. So the stage is above. It was in the old saloon bar where you've got a stage above the bar. That's where we used to perform the show. And then I've got a backstage one of not floor show, just the everyday Frankenfurter outfit. So yeah, don't think there's anything else to show you. That was my day job when I was the Silver City Cowboy Town Undertaker. Look how miserable I look. I'm not even smiling. I'm trying to get it so that the so I was the Undertaker as well. Oh, I've had a past. Where are we? Let's get the chat back open. Who's a pretty boy then, in the nicest possible way. Where did I get up to? I got up to Emmy's comment. That is delightful. Simon, look at that gorgeous hair. I know. Now look, I actually do have some hair. It's just that I shave it all off because I can't be doing it. I think it's either there or it's not. When it's in that in-between stage, just shave it all off. But yeah, I used to have a really big mop. When I was a teenager, they used to say I looked like Andrew Ridgeley after Wham, and I used to have my hair to about here in a bit of a mullet. Not a mullet, not a bad mullet. You know, I used to have like a curtain part in at the front, and then I used to put highlights in it. So it was like a blondie brown colour. Amazing cheekbones. Only 17 in Rocky Horror. Yes, I was 16 when we first started doing Rocky Horror. In fact, I stopped when I was 18 because it was 2 years, and we did it in the September the first time before my 17th birthday in October, and then into me 18th. Legs. I had legs. We're just going on about the legs. Hello, Calla. Nice to see you. Simon in Garters. Happy memories. And that's the thing, isn't it? I've got a lot of happy memories. So when things like, this is what started the conversation about going to see the Rocky Horror Show, we go with my friends who was in the cast that I was in. So my friend Tony, Jen, Tim, we were all in the full kind of 2 years of doing it. So I haven't even put the chat on there to see if there's anybody in, because Tony often pops in the Facebook group, and he was riffraff in the show for a couple of years. The Undertaker look is good on you. Good to have firm copies to look back and enjoy. Have a giggle too. Exactly. You look so different with hair, Simon. Yeah, and I didn't wear glasses. I had to, but as a teenage year, my teenage years, I refused to because I used to get ridiculed at school for them. And then when I got into my 20s, I started wearing contact lenses. So I wore contact lenses then right up until, gosh, late 30s. And then, of course, when you stop wearing contact lenses because you've been used to it, then you can't see a thing because you know, I kind of coped before. So then it was glasses all the time. I'd love to see your hair with highlights. I have got a picture. I will send it you. It would take too long to find it now. There's an American Adventure Facebook group that, because that theme park's been gone now for, gosh, 2006, 2007, so about 16 years. So there's a Facebook group where people upload stuff, like pictures, which is always fun to see. Ange never seen the Rocky Horror Show. It always amazes me when people say that. There's somebody I work with who's never seen it. I'm like, just watch it. You'll love it. Yeah. So what else has been happening? Well, firstly, we all got a cuppa, he says, after being on for 20 minutes. Sounds fun. Something sounds fun. An online art course. I'm going to do Simon. Can you remember Simon Asks? I've got a playlist with a couple of them on. Did it 3 years ago, did it 2 years ago, and I've not done it since. I kept saying when we did it, because people liked it, I'll do another one soon. You know how it does. So I'm going to do that. I just wanted to mention, it was in the video that I put on earlier, but shout out to the people at Red Feather, because if you remember, I bought this deck. It wasn't one that was sent for review. I actually bought it. I didn't want to wait for a review copy, and I wanted to support Stephen Bright, who I consider a friend, is a member of this community. And when I got it, there was 2 cards missing. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's, you know, I mean, it happens from time to time, doesn't it? It's got a great little book. And I got in touch with Schiffer. And also, because it's gilded, it's got this beautiful matte red gilding. You know, so it's black, white, and red, like a playing card deck would be. I got in touch with them and told them that there was a little bit of scuffing, but I said, I don't mind that because I can actually go over these with a red Sharpie and just redo them. But I said, there is 2 cards missing. And of course, I can't use it with 2 cards missing because it's a playing card deck as well. And I thought they would just send me, because like US Games have done this in the past, and Llewellyn. Is it Llewellyn or Le Scarabeo? One of the 2. They've just obviously sent the replacement card, but they sent a brand new deck. And she sent a note saying, we've opened it and we've checked each card. So it won't be sealed, but that's because we wanted to make sure that it was right sending it to you. So I was really impressed with that for customer service. So yeah, shout out to them. So I've got the full deck now of Stephen Bright's Inner Eye Oracle. So I won't go show it because there's a walkthrough, but the idea behind this is it's a playing card deck, but it's also an oracle because it's got an image and it's got keywords. So for here, you know, we've got the Ace of Clubs and it's new beginnings. You can just see this little fledgling sprout coming up out the pot. But it's gorgeous and it says like opportunities. It does keep with the obviously this is the diamonds, the earth suit, so we've got money as the ace. It does keep in terms of, you know, the colors of black and red. Look at that for endings. So yeah, and I just think the artwork in this deck is fantastic, and it was created by, as I said, Stephen Bright. So got the missing cards replaced. I love the court cards. I think the court cards are brilliant. I love Red Feather. Yeah, they're really good. They sometimes get some bad press, you know. I've been seeing a thread. I won't say where or anything like that, but I saw a thread about the upcoming release of mass market release of Bone Stone and Earthflesh. Arna's put something out about, you know, it's going to be picked up, and somebody had said, "Oh, I wonder who the reputable publisher is going to be," because they haven't said yet who it's going to be. And the comments were quite harsh to some, you know, I hope it's not going to be these, I hope it's not going to be that. And there was particularly harsh to Red Feather. And there's going on about the quality of their cardstock. Red Feather, in my opinion, was one of the first publishers to produce a deck at high quality that I couldn't tell the difference between it being mass produced and indie. And that was the Shadowland tarot that came out probably about 3 years ago now. Beautiful gilding, lovely matte cardstock. The quality of the cardstock was wonderful. I mean, this is beautiful matte, you know, it's gilded and it's really, really nice quality. So I really don't think the bad press is. I know in the past, I think people have been quite unforgiving over things like perhaps Marielle, the first edition Marielle, or Tarot of the She, where, you know, there was quite, or even the Gaian Tarot, where there was like 2 borders and big glossy cards. But you know what? They obviously listen to us as a community because they've adapted to it and they've changed. And I know they listen because, you know, I have contact with them as somebody now reviews their decks, and obviously they know who we are. So Shadowland rules. Yeah, I love the Shadowland. I've got it up there in the bag that Anne did for me. What freaking deck do we love? See if I've missed any comments. Oneness, our Cheryl says, Rocky Horror is one of my faves. I played Columbia in school and got barred from putting on any more productions. I love Columbia. Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you played Columbia. I love that. I saw it. Oh, Shian saw it and ordered it straight away. Has it arrived? Stephen Bright is so talented. He really is. Simon is live. I am. Hello, Morgan. Ultraviolet Morgan. I was just watching an old walkthrough from this channel. Oh, which walkthrough was that? That's a cool hand that Saskia is showing. And Kate. I've not seen that little pink hand wave before. Can't wait to get it. The book for this deck looks amazing. Is that for Inner Eye? It's really good. To be fair, my only Schiffer Red Feather deck is Spirit Within, also Stephen Bright, and that glossy sticky cardboard is off-putting. Yeah, I've got Spirit Within, and I know what you mean. But not many decks are coming out like that now. Is there a Rocky Horror Tarot? If not, why not? We've said so many times, haven't we, over the years? I'm really surprised because there is a tarot for almost every genre and any sort of cult classic, isn't there? Surprised there's not a Wicker Man tarot either. But, you know, we've got Golden Girls tarot, Friends tarot, we've got Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, although not official. What else we got? We've got Labyrinth tarot. Yeah, all them types. So I'm really surprised there isn't a Rocky Horror. And in my mind, you can kind of think of who the characters might be. If there was a Rocky Horror Tarot, it would be Pips, I bet. If it was done by a certain publisher, I think you might be right. And it would probably be indie first, wouldn't it? Somebody would create it, I would imagine. What else? Really loving, can I just say, really loving the new voice. This deck, oh my God, I've been using this in the evenings. I've been still using my Green Menagerie for my morning reading. But oh gosh, the artwork in this deck is just fantastic. I mean, I've connected with it instantly. I'll show you a few of the cards again because I've done a full walkthrough of this and it's had quite a few views. But again, talking of gorgeous cardstock, absolutely beautiful. I'll be really surprised if this deck doesn't get picked up. It kind of reminds me a little bit of somewhere close to Lightseers or the oh, what's that one that's just been released? I can't see it, it's up at the top. The Unfolding Path. The Unfolding Path kind of reminds me of that same genre, and they've both been picked up by Hay House. So Hay House might not go. He holds this card up, and yeah, Hay House might want to change a couple of cards, but that might be why. And I don't think Roz would probably want to do that. I mean, look at that for the Five of Pentacles. Isn't it amazing? I love it. And I feel a connection to it, I think, because I watched its creation, because I followed Roz. I watched all these cards come into life, and he'd put a black and white image on where he sketched it out. Then he'd put an RWS card next to it, and then the finished product. I love this Nine of Swords. Look how she's wearing, as a jumper, she's wearing the bedspread. Just amazing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Anyway, I'm not going to show them all because I've got a walkthrough up of this. But that's obviously new in, and I've been enjoying getting to know it even more. Buffy the Vampire Slayer Tarot. Didn't even know there was one. Or if I did, I've forgotten. Thistledown, yeah. I've got the what do they call it? Prototype of Thistledown. Which is the deck time is shown now. It's the New Voice Tarot, not the New Choice, which was his Marseille style deck, but the New Voice. Unofficial Rocky Horror deck. That is so pretty. It is pretty. Definitely looks like the lights. The font does, yes, yeah. Pictures could stay the same if Rockpool picked it up. Yeah, I mean, Hay House picked up Fifth Spirit, didn't they? I can't remember. A few years ago, there was a tarot creator who refused to make certain changes that one of the publishers wanted them to make. And they said, no, I'm not doing it. So it never happened. And I think if we think back to like the good tarot, which was what, 2017? That was kind of like, as far as I remember, really, kind of Hay House dipping its toes into tarot. There may have been some decks before, like Doreen Virtue ones and things like that, but that got a mixed reception because people are like, well, it's called the good tarot, and anything that might be a little bit harder to, in terms of things like the devil card and death, and they changed the titles of them, didn't they, and kind of made them a little bit fluffy. What was the name of that indie deck? So that one is the New Voice Tarot, and it's by Roz. Salerno. But I think his full name is Rosario. No, not Rosario. I can't think of his full name because I just call him Ross. But if you Google new voice tarot, it will come up. First thing it comes up of. Lubanco tarot. I'm not sure of that one. Rosario, that's it, Rosario. So it was. Okay. All right. So it says Simon says, put your hands on your head. So Simon asks, and how are we for time? Okay, not too bad. Now I've got 13 questions, but we might not get through them all. But it's just a bit of fun. But do play along because the idea between Simon asked, and if you've been around for a few years, you'll remember the concept. And if you're watching this back, there is a playlist. So there's 1 and 2 is in there, and this is going to be 3. I love the good tarot. I saw the other day, sorry to jump backwards and forwards, but this is me. The good tarot is now gilded in gold. Shien, was it you who was showing it? And I was, oh no, I think actually it was lovely Katie from a Fountain Pen Awakening. She's got a different channel name. Giselle, you were struggling to remember it as well, weren't you, the other day? Importance of Temperance. It was Katie that was showing it, and the good tarot when I got it wasn't gilded at all. So mine, I'd got a bottle green Sharpie, and it matches the backs beautifully. I love it, but it's green. But now I've noticed it's gold gilded. And funnily enough, the Wisdom Tarot is one oracle deck that I'll never get rid of, the Colette Baron Reid one, because it was one of my first oracle decks way before I had a channel. And that, if you get that now, isn't gilded, but mine is. So it's like, where were they going with that? You know, they had decks that were gilded and then they don't, and now they do again. So yeah, that's why I ended up with 4 copies of Marielle, because I've got one that's gold gilded, which is really rare. One that isn't, the first one that came out that I had professionally trimmed. And then I've got one that's edged in black metallic gilding and one edged in silver metallic gilding, because they brought out the black one and there was faults with it. So they reissued it with silver, but I managed to get all 4 in my collection. But yeah, so it's strange that my good tarot is gilded, and now if you buy it, it isn't. But rewind. My good tarot wasn't gilded, so I edged it, but now if you buy it, it's gilded. Whereas I've forgotten the name, my brain is just starting to do that sort of, what am I talking about? What's the oracle called I've just been talking about in the red box? Wisdom Tarot was gilded and now isn't. Soz proper late. Oh, we've just been talking about you. Hey, make that sound better. Hope the chat goes well. Just been talking about, that's Riff Raff. Riff Raff's arrived. I was on about my t-shirt. We talked about the show. I showed the pictures from when we did it for those 2 years. And I said, I'm surprised Tony's not here, because he sometimes pops in, and he was our Riff Raff for both years. Anyway, I've got some tags here. Katie, the importance of tarot is right. The importance of temperance is right. Sorry. Simon, you sure it's not a fake deck? No, this was the official release. When it was first released in 2017, it was direct from Hay House. So it's definitely not fake, and it's a proper good chunky deck. I do love Colette Baron Reid, but they never seem to show the artist. Yes, I know. It is a pet peeve. And Jenna, I can never pronounce her last name, but she's such a talented artist. I was nearly about to say it then, but I know I'd butcher it. If I see it in front of me, I can say it. Giselle, have you ever read an autobiographical book? Yeah, so I like new packaging for the same cosmetics line. Anyway, let's go back to Simon asks. So some questions. I'll ask a question, answer it myself, but if you can join in and answer it too, that would be great. It would be fun if we could do that. So if you've seen the previous ones, you'll understand the format. So the first question is, what movie or show do you keep rewatching? And if you want to put why, you can. But a movie or show that you keep watching. I've got so many movies that I keep watching. My all-time favorite, well, I've kind of got three that I alternate between my all-time favorite film. And when I finish watching it, I'm like, yeah, that one is my all-time favorite film. But my top three is Shawshank Redemption. I just think it is such a powerful, powerful film. Stand By Me. Both of them are Stephen King as well, which is interesting. Taken from the novella The Body. Love that. First time I watched it, I wept. And yeah, I could sit and watch that over and over again. It's a proper Sunday afternoon film. If it's raining outside and you just want to get under a blanket and watch a film, Stand By Me is brilliant. And then the third one is The Colour Purple. I just think it's, again, so many powerful performances in that. And I love the scene where Shug Avery starts singing Lord is Trying to Tell You Something. Oh, it really gets to me. She walks and everybody's singing and coming behind her. She bursts through the door of the chapel where Father, who doesn't have anything to do with it, is the preacher. And then they hug. Such a powerful scene. And of course, the end scene. Gilmore Girls. I've never seen that. Steel Magnolias is a brilliant film. Here, hit Weezer. Mrs. Doubtfire. That's a good one. Blade Runner. See, I've never seen Blade Runner. Pulp Fiction. Fab film. And then Giselle says, Steel Magnolias, Beaches. Oh my gosh, I can still remember the moment I saw Beaches. Beaches, got such bittersweet memories of. It came out, I think, in 89, but my dad passed away in 1990, and I was off work for the first week, grieving. And there was this particular day, I just was at a loose end, and I was staying at a friend's house, and they've got this VHS cassette tape called Beaches, and it was just the cassette tape with the sticker on that just said Beaches, and I didn't know what it was. And I thought, oh, let's just stick this on. And there was just me there, and I put Beaches on, and I watched it from beginning to end, sobbed like a baby because I was in an emotional state anyway. But it sounds daft. It helped me to grieve because when my dad passed, I didn't know how to react, I've not been used to death. And I was just kind of like numb, and watching Beaches just brought it all out. And it just became a film that I love to watch. I love Bette Midler. I love Bette Midler films. Stella is my all-time favorite. Doesn't get much play. You don't really see it on TV. You can't buy a DVD of it. But Stella with Bette Midler. It's a remake of a film by Barbara Stanwyck from like the 1930s, I think, or 40s, called Stella Dallas. Bette Midler's version is heart-rendering, especially the final scene. And I didn't want it to end like that. Where a film ends, you're like, no, don't let that be the ending. But it's really, really powerful. So if you can ever find Stella by Bette Midler, brilliant. For the Boys is another one that she did with James Caan. Brilliant film. Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. Yes, you can tag me. freaking love Arrested Development. See, I've not seen that. Robin of Sherwood, as in the 80s with Michael Praed. I loved Robin of Sherwood. I can hear the song playing now. Was it Clanad? Robin, the Hooded Man. Oh, I loved it. Colour Purple, yeah, such a good film. It was so normal when I was growing up because you would buy videos and watch them over and over again. Yeah, because it was like, well, I own it. I own it now. Because before that, you would have to wait. My all-time favorite childhood film, well, there's two. There's Wizard of Oz, of course, but I loved Oliver, the musical Oliver. And me and my sister, back then, you had a TV guide for the independent channels, which was only one when I was a kid. Well, Channel 4 came out when I was 11, just turned 11. So you had BBC One and BBC Two. So you had to get the radio times for that, and then TV times for ITV, and then later Channel 4. But as a kid, we had both because we never had them. And every Christmas, me and my sister would scour through the TV times or radio times to look for either The Wizard of Oz or Oliver. And then, if it was listed that date, that time, nothing else mattered. If we didn't play with our Christmas toys, we didn't go out, we didn't do anything. We sat glued to it. And Oliver is just one of those films that I love. But why am I mentioning it? I can't remember now. Oh, yes, because then when you could get a video, which I was a teenager, so 1989, because you could rent them from like 1982 onwards. And my dad was the first person to get a video player. We didn't get one till 87. But then I can remember in 1989, suddenly you could buy them. And I remember the first VHS I ever bought was Wizard of Oz. It was one of the first released. I remember holding it thinking, I've got a film in my hands. Sounds daft now, doesn't it, in today's world? But as an 18-year-old, it's like, how is this possible that I actually own The Wizard of Oz and I can watch it whenever I want to watch it? I don't have to look out for it at Christmas. And then, of course, that's why now I've got a walk-in closet in my bedroom. Should have shown that today. With hundreds of DVDs on them because I'm a huge, huge film buff. Brilliant moment. The bit in Colour Purple. Like The Lion in Winter. I've not heard of that. Star Wars, original 3. Fried green tomatoes. Tawanda. Love fried green tomatoes. Oh, I need to watch it. I got a new TV about a month ago. And I gave the old one away. I put it on a group and just said, look, free to collect, free TV, remote. Just didn't want to have to. It was fully working. And somebody came within the hour and took it. And then I suddenly realized that the remote for the TV is also the remote for my DVD player. So I've got all these DVDs that I can't play at the moment. So I do need to get another DVD player. Because I've got fried green tomatoes. And when you see it, I thought, I've not watched that for ages. Abigail's Party. I know that more or less word for word. I love Mike Leigh. And I've got 2 box sets. Mike Leigh at the BBC, which is things like Nuts in May, Abigail's Party, and then the Mike Leigh film collection. And it's got all of his films and all of his plays, 2 different box sets. But Abigail's Party, I love. I'm not going to sit quoting it. Harry Potter Hex series Skeleton Key. I've got 2 copies of Skeleton Key. You love Bette Midler too, Giselle. Why am I not surprised? You're my sister from another mister. I'm not surprised at all. Meant to finish Abigail's Party. I knew what you meant. Oh, such a good film. Ange, can you take a tiny bit of criticism? I've got very beautiful lips. Nody Way, hello, how are you? I watch some movies over and over. There's something wrong with me. And cheesy ones, no masterpieces like Bridget Jones, Holiday, Big, Ocean's 11. They're all great films. They're all great films. Godfather 1 and 2. I've not seen them for years. Philomena is a good film. Yeah, really good film. And Hocus Pocus. Yeah. Love Beaches. Am I that far behind? Cary Grant. Lots of movies help me with difficult emotions. Movies are great for that, aren't they? Oh, you remember it, Calla? Stella Dallas, Bab Stanwyck. I did watch the original Barbara Stanwyck version, and it's great. But I just wish they ought to bring out something like a Bette Midler collection, because then I bet it would be in there. It came out in 1990, maybe 91. No, 1990, I think. It was in between Beaches and For the Boys. And I mean, I love For the Boys as well. That's an epic film. Dixie Leonard. But Stella breaks you. Really breaks you. And there was a film as well. I think it was Lana Turner was in it, called Madam X. I remember being off college sick one day, and I just had this little portable TV. And it was an afternoon where I was feeling quite groggy and sorry for myself. I was off college and just put the TV on, and they said the afternoon film is Madam X. And it's the most remade film, apparently. There's like 7 versions of it. But I think that was the last version. It's got John Forsythe in it, out of Dynasty, who played Blake. And that's a brilliant film where she marries into this big, rich family, and the mother-in-law just doesn't like her, and she ends up committing a crime through no fault of her own, and she has to go and leave a child behind. And then years later, when he's grown up, he's a lawyer, he has to represent this woman. She won't tell him the name or whether she's guilty or not. She just signs everything Madam X because she's his mum. Oh, and it's such tugs at your heartstring. I love Desperately Seeking Susan. Yeah, that's a good film. His Girl Friday. Oh, there's so many. Gone with the Wind. Beaches like 3 times a year. I know. That's strange, isn't it? How films can get to you, make you cry, even though you know what's coming. I think I'm taking too long to get through the comments because it's jumping on its own accord now. The Hooded Man. So it is that one. Yeah, I love that. They don't make programs like they used to. Those weekend things. I mean, now I don't. From when I get home on Friday, I'll watch my guilty pleasure programs, and then the telly goes off Friday night, and it doesn't go on till Monday night. I just don't see the point of putting the TV on over the weekend. It's just the same old stuff, you know. The quiz shows. Well, quiz shows are okay, but it's the same quiz shows or talent shows and celebrity this, and I think just no. So it doesn't go on. But weekend TV, London weekend television, do you remember that when we were kids? Was so good. And you got things like Robin of Sherwood and Wurzel Gummidge and not now. And we used to get brilliant kids programs on Saturday mornings. You don't now. It's cooking programs. But Tis Was and Swap Shop and anyway. Somewhere in Time, Love is a Many Splendid Thing. You've Got Mail is great, although I prefer Sleepless in Seattle to You've Got Mail. Not that you have to compare the two, but It's a Wonderful Life. That's another film that me and my sister, even now, my sister will say to me, when you're coming over for It's a Wonderful Life, every December. So we get together and we watch it together. It's just a tradition that we do. Princess Bride, Drop Dead Fred, or Rose Leads the Godfather. Wizard of Oz for me. Hello, Caroline. Nice to see you. I'm going to scroll down. Never Ending Story is a good one. Reese, yeah. Otherwise, I'm never going to get through 13 questions. Okay, so sorry, I've scrolled down. But if you tag me, hopefully I will see it. Let me just have a quick look on this one. Open up some tags. So I'll just read the tags. No, it's still Magnolias when they offer Louisa up for the slap. I thought it was Weezer. Keith said A Star Is Born with Barbara. Bewitched. Hi, Kay. They did the new Wurzel. Yes, I saw it. I saw it about The Office, isn't it? It's good. There's no celebrity that can compete with Pixie. That's true. Thornbirds, that was good back in the day. That was about 82, 83. Hi, Sonique. Okay, so the next question is, what was your favorite game as a child? Your favorite game? Now, I had two. I had Operation. I just used to love playing that. And also Frustration. Dead simple to play, but gosh, in our house, there would be serious fallouts over Frustration. Like, literally not talking to each other for weeks over a game of Frustration. Cluedo, yeah, I really do like Cluedo. So it's Cluedo over here, isn't it? And is it just Clue in the States? Mousetrap, gosh, I remember Mousetrap. Monopoly, Guess Who is good. Cluedo, Clue, Mousetrap, Downfall or Cluedo. Do you remember Battleships as well? We had to kind of mark. That was quite a good game. Uno, you can't beat Uno. Life, not sure what that is. Trouble, couldn't resist. And what was the one? Was it Boulder Dash? Boulder Dash, where there was Pictionary, where you had to draw, but Boulder Dash, where there's certain words you can't say. We used to have one as well called Who's in the Bag? And it was a bag, and it had loads of little cards in, and you put your hand in and took one out, and it would tell you who you were, and you had to kind of like charades. But it was called Who's in the Bag. We used to get that out every Christmas. The Haunted House, Snakes and Ladders, Operation, Mousetrap, Clue, Haunted House, Cluedo, Boulder Dash is great. Hello, Brian. Nice to see you. It is Boulder Dash is the one with the word, isn't it? We used to have two. We had Boulder Dash and Pictionary. Yahtzee was good. Yeah. Gym Rummy. We'd play for hours. I can't remember Haunted House. Cootie Game. French Skipping. Okay, so next question. I'm going to try and go a little bit faster. I've got half an hour left. What book influenced you the most growing up? What book influenced or impacted, actually, you the most growing up? Spin the Bottle. Pictionary was a favourite. Hungry Hippos, Etch-a-Sketch. Oh, want life different back then, though. At the risk of sounding like a boring old fart, but you know, when we're talking about the old TV programs, the old games, they haven't got that now, have they? They're just sat. It's so sad because it's a lot of happy memories. I mean, it was tough growing up in the 80s, but at the same time, hello, Christoph, Lord of the Rings. Was that a game? Famous Five books, The Choice. Little Women Forever by Judy. Yeah, and I thought about this one. I thought, well, what book really had an impact on me growing up? And I can't think of one that really had an impact. I mean, I love the Enid Blyton books. I love the Magic Faraway Tree books and all that sort of stuff. But, and I've shared this before, there was a famous medium in this country in the early to mid 80s called Doris Stokes. And she released a book called Voices in My Ear. And I remember telling people, it's in my vlog that I did, which was about my spiritual path and journey into tarot. And I've shared this before because I did later find Rupert Mole, Adrian Mole, but everybody at school was reading Adrian Mole. And we used to have a day we could take books in. And while everybody was reading Rupert Mole, I was reading Doris Stokes because her books just blew my mind. You know, she'd talk about seeing the dead and talking to the dead. And I think that was the defining moment where I started to think that there might be something more to than this physical world. And whether she wrote the books herself or whether she had a ghostwriter, I don't know. But those books really had an impact on me. Oh yes, Doris Stokes, that influenced me so much. And I heard about her because we had a neighbour whose her daughter, she was my mum's friend, her daughter was born with a heart defect. And when she got to a certain age, I think she was about 3 or 4, she had an operation and sadly, she didn't survive the operation. And obviously it was devastating. I was friends with the brother, same age as me, went to school with me and everything. And she went to see Doris Stokes and got a message from her, which gave her a lot of comfort. And so everybody was talking about Doris Stokes. And then I can't even remember how I got a book as like a 13-year-old, but I did. I got hold of it. And then she brought out a few more, and I was obsessed with them. Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Always wanted to find the magic wardrobe to get to Narnia. Yeah. I often me and my friends used to lock ourselves in built-in cupboards and pretend that it was going to different. And when we open the door, we'll be in such and such a place. There was a program on in the 70s as well in the UK called Phoenix and the Carpet. And that was great because they used to get on this carpet, this phoenix that they'd thrown the egg into the fire and had come out of the fire, used to grant them wishes, and this carpet would become a magic flying carpet and take them to different places. And I love that. Lizzie Dripping, great show as well, because that was the first time I ever saw a witch. But we're talking about books, so why am I talking about Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And met Doris Stokes, a remarkable woman and so empathetic. I never knew that. That's brilliant, Anne. That you met her. Adrian Mole, Secret Diary of Adrian Mole, aged 13 3/4. There'll never be any more. I kind of thought that, because he was exactly the same age as me, when that book came out, I was 13 3/4. And then all the other ones, like the Cappuccino Years and all that, got right up to about 40. Then, of course, Sue Townsend passed away, so there won't be any more. But I was like, I'm growing up with, and what he was experiencing, we was all experiencing. Wind in the Willows. Patsy said, I read her book and saw her on television as a teen, and I just thought, yeah, she's so right. I bleed ever since. Love Doris. Yeah, 1984. Charlotte's Web, we read that at school. Such a good book. God with the Wind. Stranger in a Strange Land. Mists of Avalon. Still never read that. Lily loved Doris Stokes too. Okay, let's see if there's any tags so I don't miss people. Well, I've gone on to night mode. Okay, so the next question then is what do you need to do more of in your life? What do you need to do more of? Mine is I need to connect more with people other than work, because I go to work, I come home, and I do, like I said in my video today, I love my space, but I need to connect more with people. I too easily fall into the hermit that I am and shut myself away, especially during winter months when it starts to get dark like now, and I light my candles and incense and shut the world out, get into me comfy clothes. Pat sister said, socializing, I'm a hermit. Yeah, exactly. Exercise, dusting ain't happening. Eat fruit, read, exercise, flowers in the attic. But have you read it yet, Giselle? You've got to read the whole set. If There Be Thorns, Petals on the Wind. Don't bother with well, you could, I did, so I can't really say it, but there was the new Virginia Andrews, because she passed away young, and there was Dawn and these other ones, but it's the same story, just in a different circumstance. But the Flowers in the Attic season, I think there was 4 books. Not read Mists of Avalon. I'm not a big reader, but eat more vegetables. I'm a hermit apart from going to the shop. Hermit Kate, no, I need so much so that I missed it, jumped. It will be my need to answer. No, I need to so much so that will be my need to answer. I'm a hermit. I can go weeks and not go out and see anybody but my hubby. Retired work. I don't see people. Yeah, so I think that's quite a popular one. We're all kind of saying see people more, socialize more. So the next question is, what do you need to do less of? So we've had what do we need to do more in our life? What do you need to do less of in your life? For me, it's worry. I can't believe I'm still saying this. I've tried everything, mindfulness, meditation, chanting, but I still worry, and I don't think that's ever going to change now. I'm better at it, but I still worry, and I imagine scenarios that are going to happen that might never happen. But it always seems like there's something next to worry about, and when that's gone and done, there's something replaced it straight away. And I just don't get it. And I really admire people who are very sort of more optimistic and like, just don't worry. But yeah, I wish I could eradicate it. I love Mists of Avalon, but it's a long book. Sitting doing nothing, definitely worrying. Same for me, worry, less procrastinating. Worry too, procrastinating. Lots of people are saying eat and worry, stress and overthink. Yeah, overthinking is a big one, isn't it? Take on the issues of other people as my own. It can be exhausting. Exactly. Why do we do it to ourselves? Yeah, worry, stress could be lessened. I need to eat less junk food. Whatever's easiest. I need to do less lounging around. It's nice, isn't it? It's nice to lounge around. Buying tarot decks, but not happening. So I would say overthinking. But you can get to a point, can't you, where when it comes to buying tarot decks, we can be responsible and we can think, right, I'm going to allow myself. It's like anything, isn't it? It's in moderation, and we allow ourselves certain treats. Life's pretty dull if we don't. But you could always say, right, I'm just going to get one a month or something like that. And then get your list, and each month just tick one off. Okay. Way less chocolate. Okay, next question then is, what makes you angry? What makes you angry? For me, it's injustice of any sort. I can't bear it. It really gets in here and stays in here if there's an injustice, particularly if I feel powerless to it. And discrimination. People who just don't allow or not want to allow people just to be who they are, whatever that is. Just stop it. It's nothing to do with you. You know, live your life however you want to live it, but don't overlay your beliefs on anybody else, particularly if you're telling them that what they're doing or how they're being is wrong. And I can feel it now, that's what gets me angry. Any form of discrimination or any form of injustice. I can't bear, even when it's really silly things like a TV program that's fiction, if there's an injustice in there where somebody's got away with something or somebody's being punished for something they haven't done, or I can't bear it. I just can't bear it. Buying makes me, I read that as buying. Bullying makes me furious. Yeah, it's horrible. But that bullying kind of filters into that, doesn't it? Picking on somebody because of a difference, usually, even if that difference is they think that they're weaker than that person who's bullying. Prejudice and no empathy for others, definitely discrimination, rudeness. Why is Giselle in trouble? Oh, you're in trouble now. What's she done? People who put the toilet roll under rather than... Yes, you are in trouble, Giselle. Giselle even sent me a little video clip because Andrex has got the bunny on it, and the puppy on it, and she was like, "Look, it has to go over, otherwise the little puppy would be the wrong way around." Anyone who upsets my kids, even now they're adults, makes me angry. I go into mother bear mode. Yeah, I think that's a built-in thing, isn't it? And totally understandable. These days, what makes me angry is a certain religion that I do not believe is harmful to all living things. Yeah, I get that, religion can be a comfort to so many people. However, like I reiterate what I've just said, if it brings you joy and peace, that's a wonderful thing. Cherish it. But that does not mean you have the right to... in fact, I saw this the other day. I almost posted it. I might have deleted it now. But I thought, it's got a point. And I don't want to offend people of a particular religious background. But it's just a point. And it's got 2 Mormons, because that was my background. And it says, gay person exists in a movie. Religious people, they are forcing their lifestyle on us. Also religious people. And I thought that kind of hit me a bit, because I thought, and I've done that when I was a Mormon. I've knocked on doors. I've stopped people in the streets. Part of that proselyting that we was required to do. And now I look back and I think, knocking on someone's door and to talk to them about religion, I mean, that's uninvited, isn't it? Unsolicited advice, unsolicited kind of, yeah. And then I hear it all the time when there's a gay character being brought into something. Oh, it's being rammed down our throats. And we don't want to see this. But anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. Oh, don't worry, I offended all the Trump supporters. They probably offended me too. We're grown-ups. We'll deal with it. Home invasion. Honestly, I feel really bad for the people in the religion. So much religious trauma and mind control. Religion should not be weaponized when it's lost its way. It's about power. Yeah, do you know what? I can only talk about my experience, and that's why whenever I get onto the subject of religion, I have to just, have that caveat of my experience with my background. I can't talk about anybody else's religion because I've not experienced it. And I know that I've got friends who are religious. I know that religion can bring a lot of comfort to people, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing for them. But I also know the damage it can do when those beliefs try to be overlaid onto people, and it then challenges their beliefs, and not one should have the power over another one. So that's just where I stand on that. Okay, have I missed any tagged questions? Let's have a look. I got the look off Simon. You did get the look off Simon. That's funny. Okay, next one then. So what was that? What makes you angry? What 3 words describe what you are most grateful for? What 3 words describe what you're most grateful for? So mine would be a slash for the first one. What I mean is it's 2 words with a slash. I'm not grateful for a slash. Oh, my life. It's a good job Elle isn't here, because they would be screen recording that. Family/friends. That's one thing I'm grateful for. The other is my health. I'm grateful for my health. And the third, still thinking of that. The third is my career. I'm really grateful for it. It's a job where it has an impact, and that's all I ever wanted. When I was in retail, and I wasn't really, getting job satisfaction, but I've got a job now where it has an impact, and I can see a positive from it. So they're the 3 that I'm slash that I'm really grateful for. Mormons stopped coming by when I congratulated them on Mitt Romney and told them I was perfectly happy on his Episcopalian. Oh my God, a slash. Do you use the word slash in the States? I thought I might have just got away with it. Just the English people might have. They're so sexually repressed they can't understand what physical desires. Yeah. Peace, quiet, comfort, intelligence, family, friends, family, health, hubby. Well, you could have put your family and hubby together there, Giselle, and had a third one. What is the question again? 3 things. What 3 things describe what you're most grateful for? Slash, didn't know you were such a Guns N' Roses fan, Simon. Trisha. Family and friends is a big one. Still going strong. I like what you've done there. I'm grateful for slash. Life, love, self-awareness, says Ramon. Slash that guitar player. Possibly. Cat says slash. Right, so I'm thinking that perhaps in the States it's not a word that's used, but over here, if you go for a slash, you go for a P. It's quite a crude way of saying it, and I wouldn't ever say it. I wouldn't say, right, I'm off for a slash. Oh, it's crude. But when I went, I'm grateful for slash, I was like, no, I'm not grateful for that. Family, health, witchcraft, love it. Family, friends, health, the ocean, the wind, haven't lost my mind yet. Abilities, openness, family. I saw one that said something about the ability to be at myself, a secure home and a healthy family. My home, my health, and my partner. Yeah, so lovely ones there. But you just did, Simon. Slash. I can't believe I said that. Okay. What time? Oh, I don't think we're going to get all through 13. It's 20 past 8 already. How do you cope when things get hard? How do you cope when things get hard? So I'm better at this because when things get hard for me, I tend to withdraw. I withdraw and retreat and go in myself. I go very quiet. I lock myself away. I don't communicate with people because I get paralyzed by, when things are difficult. It's just, I don't know. I've always been like that. What I find helps is having somebody to talk to that sees it differently and can be quite reassuring. I have got a friend who's a very no nonsense type of person, and they pick up. So we've been friends 20 years, and they'll say, "What's up? There's something not right," and I offload and say it, and they'll just come with something really sort of, "Don't worry about it because this, and this," and I think, yeah, why didn't I look at it that way? Just has the ability to do that. So I think for me, what helps when things get hard is the ability to talk it through with somebody and get a no nonsense kind of response. Patsy withdraws as well. Yeah. And my mum used to be really good on picking up on that, whereas nobody else would. Even I would think that I was masking things. And I think it was after my first breakdown in 2001, after I was hospitalized for a time. And she said to me, I knew for so long things weren't right. And you kept saying that it was. And then if I kind of dipped over the years, she'd pick up on it straight away. And she'd say, right, what's going on? You're not yourself. Talk to me. And she could really pick up on that where everybody else wouldn't. I have to talk it through with somebody. Tomorrow's another day, start afresh. Walking is great. If you can get outside, especially with nature, and I love wind. If you're out and about and it's a really blustery day, when people say that old adage, oh, it blows the cobwebs away. Don't necessarily know if it's cobwebs, but there is something very therapeutic about being outdoors and walking in the wind. It really does feel invigorating. And I always come back feeling really sort of like, that was really good just to walk. And it almost does feel like it's cleansing you. Sorry, I haven't been paying attention. Is this list posted somewhere? No, but it will be afterwards because I've got them on my iPad. So I'll copy and post them in afterwards. And I'm going to change the title from the date to, Simon Says 3. First / now loving wind. Okay, next then. How do you feel about where you grew up? How do you feel about it? I saw this question and I'm probably, you will, if you're friends with me on Facebook, I went back to my old stomping ground, and not necessarily just Facebook. On the Hermit's Cave Instagram, I did a story and I had Madonna's music playing in the background. This used to be my playground, which is my favorite ballad from Madonna. I absolutely love it. It's taken from the film A League of Their Own. But I went to my old stomping ground about 4 weeks ago when I was off work. And it was really bittersweet going back to where I used to play as a kid. Everything looks different, doesn't it? Although it hadn't changed, because that part, it prides itself on being the same 200 years ago as it is now. It's by the river, and yeah, just really cherished memories. But driving to it and through the streets before you get to this part, I just remember feeling growing up like I needed to get out of that town. And I left at 16, went to work for a theme park, ended up flat sharing with people. And the town itself, I wasn't out. There was never an option. It was very working class, and I'm not, I am working class. I'm proud to be working class. So I don't mean that in a negative way, but it was the mentality of you didn't go to university. I don't feel I've missed out, by the way, by not going to university. I did an education later in life in my early 30s. But yeah, it was just very much sort of the options was to go into factories, or I just felt very suffocated by this town where I lived. And I can remember having dreams and aspirations and talking to my careers advisor and coming out with a slip for a YTS, for a painting and decorating YTS course, and just feeling really crushed. And going to work for a theme park, I learned more about life in that 3 years that I was there than any other time. And it led to lots of different things. But going back a few weeks ago, it was really bittersweet, because there was those memories, but also it's quite a nice memory of childhood when you feel safe and you could go out and play and, not worry about all the stuff that we worry about today. It felt safe. And there was lots of happy memories, but I think it was more in my teenage years and Thatcher's Britain and prospects being as they were. I've only moved 7 miles from where I was born, never moved away. See, I'm only 10 miles or so. I'm the nearest city to where I grew up. It was in between Nottingham and Derby, where I grew up. So I think we're just a fraction by a mile or two closer. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about where I grew up. At the time, I didn't enjoy it and wanted to get out. But going back recently and, having those nice memories, kind of changed my opinion a bit. I'd never go back and live there. I know that. But yeah, I was shocked by how much my small New England beach town where I grew up echoes the small Californian beach town I live today. I recreated it with better weather. I hate the place, but bad experience. Yeah, and that's the thing. If we have bad experiences, then we do carry that through life, don't we? Very mixed feelings about my childhood. Challenging question, actually. Yeah, it can be a challenging question. Next question then. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given? The best piece of advice you've ever been given. And I think, should we stop with that one, because we're nearly at past? I'll just do them quickly. I've got a few left. Best piece of advice I've ever been given is to do it with respect. But I always remember when I first went into management, someone said to me, remember, when you're managing people, you disturb the comfortable and comfort the disturbed. And if you do that, you won't go wrong as a manager. And at the time, I was a bit sort of, what? But I've remembered it. And by disturbing the comfortable, I don't mean you go in there, and all guns blazing. There's a respectful way to do it, but you've got to bring people with you, and you've got to look at how you support people to develop. And that's the disturbing the comfortable. But when people are disturbed, you need to be that person that comforts as well. And I've just always remembered that: disturb the comfortable and comfort the disturbed. Do it respectfully, with respect for the individual. And I've thought about that a few times when I've been in situations where things need to either happen or people need some support. My dad used to say in English, what you have behind you. What you have behind you. Not quite sure what that means, what you have behind you. Stop worrying about what other people think of you. Yeah, that's a good one. Don't worry about what you can't change. Yeah, there's that serenity prayer, isn't there? That's good for that. Okay. So a bit of a tough question now. How do you know when you can trust somebody? how do you know when you can trust someone? I'm not somebody that trusts easily. That's something that's changed. I was always told, you're soft touch, you are. And, you need to wise up a bit. You let people walk all over you, that sort of thing, I was always told. And as I've got older and, in the past, people have shown the true colours, I'm less trusting, which is a shame because it's not something I like to think on the whole, until somebody lets you down, you should be there. And I do. But I think now trust is a very important thing for me in any relationship, whether it's friendship, family, or relationships. Trust is so important. And how do I know when I can trust somebody? I think it's when they share something with you as well. They share something with you, you share something with them. And you just know that, I think time is a big factor, but that you can be yourself around them. And that's really important. If you can just be yourself and you're comfortable in your own skin around that person, being bitten too many times, yeah, I don't trust anyone. See, I won't say I don't trust anyone. I've been bitten too, and I've had some hard lessons to deal with. And still now, a part of me thinks you never really know somebody because you think you do. And it turns out sometimes you don't. But I am blessed to have friends who have been friends for a long time. And that's really important to me. As we said earlier, what are the things that are important to you? Friends is very important to me. But I have to trust somebody. And when that trust is gone, I'm not sure it ever comes back or you ever get it back. You might be civil to them, but when that trust is gone, then that level of friendship is gone as well, sadly. I had to learn not to take everything so seriously. I became more flexible in my old age. I'm still learning to trust. Yeah. People who stand by you when you're at your worst. Absolutely. That's a really good point, Dee. I'm careful about who I trust, but someone I feel completely comfortable with and I can share anything with them. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Next one. I've got 2 left. How do you like to spend your free time? That's a nice question, isn't it? How do you like to spend your free time? Days out. I love it. If I get some time off work and go on a day trip or something, I love that with someone. Although sometimes, I like just get in a car and drive somewhere by myself. Don't always need to have somebody, but I like a drive out somewhere, a nice pub lunch. I love a pub lunch. A wander around, doesn't matter whether it's the seaside or whether it's the woods or whether it's to little villages or towns or even city breaks. I love having like a day out somewhere and just not having real firm set plans, just seeing how the day unfolds, doing what the mood takes you, reading, sewing, nature, in cafes, tarot, window gazing, YouTube, watching your videos, Simon, bless you, Dawn. Patter around my greenhouse. I love going out to eat, walking around somewhere lovely, laying around by the sea, laying around on my couch. Yeah, the quality time, isn't it? And I actually, I like working, but this is a question about free time. But I really like working. And I think when you enjoy your job, it doesn't always feel like work, does it? In nature, a day out and just relaxing, taking it easy. Yeah. So, oh no, I didn't want the last question to be a negative one. I'm going to end it there because the next one, it's a bit sort of, I don't want that to be the last question. Anyway, where are we for time? We're gone over by 5 minutes. I'm going to pull a card. I do find that with the new voice, I shuffle it that way, because I can obviously shuffle them. Well, only just. I have to really stretch my hands to do it that way. But I just kind of find that if I'm, I don't know, it seems to work better that way. Anybody else got this deck? How do you shuffle it? I can't riffle shuffle, so that's not an option. Oh, I've got a jumper. Shall we go with it? See what it is. Turned around, I was like, what's that? The back. We've got the 8 of Wands. How beautiful that is as well. Look at the purple colours. So the 8 of Wands, we often think about, oh, you know, it's about making a swift decision, and you know, things are up in the air. You've got to go in a certain direction. Yes, but it's also a reminder to get your priorities sorted. So as a message for the week, take stock is the message, really. Set your intentions, sort out any priorities that you've got to do. It is time to move. This is what the card is telling us, but doesn't mean that we have to go rushing headlong. What it's saying is actually sort your priorities out, set your intentions, take stock, then go. Okay, so it's about doing as much as we can before we go off in that direction. So don't go rushing headlong. Set your intentions first, but the time is now to get going. So that's our message. Thank you, everybody. It's been lovely to hang out with you as always. I can't believe I've been on this long. I'm gonna go and grab my my dinner. Now, just to say, coming up tomorrow night, I've been invited onto Becca's channel, and we're going to be looking at our 5 favorite decks so far this year. We're not at the end of the year yet, so it could all change, but just our 5 favorite decks, and that's 7 p.m. tomorrow night on Becca's channel, Becca Tarot Night Owl. And then on Thursday, it's the joint live with Chris from Elemental Cartomancy for Throwback Thursday. And we're looking at the Witcher's Wisdom and talking about how we've worked with that deck, what we think of that deck now that it's been out a few years. So less haste, more speed. I like that, Golden. So yeah, so that's going to be a couple of more lives this coming week. So hopefully you'll be able to join us for those lives. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for contributing as well to the questions. It's been lovely to see your responses. But until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.